Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to week 4 of Intel 300. I want to just do a short YouTube lecture, nothing on the digital blackboard, but I just want to give a quick face-to-face and give a quick update. First thing, papers. Narrow your topic. Every one of you, topic was way too broad, much too broad. Narrow your topic again, narrow it further, and when you think you've narrowed it down enough, narrow it again. That makes if your paper is too broad, then your analysis is going to come across encyclopedia-like. If it's narrow, then you're definitely adding something to the discussion. So again, things like, is China power relative to the United States? A few of you chose that topic. That's too broad. Better to go in a certain angle, talk about China's cybersecurity versus the United States. And even then, you can narrow it down to, is China's ability to conduct an attack against critical infrastructure via cyber, is that possible? And then ask again, narrow it again, would they want to do that? That's the type of analysis we need to go down, not is the United States or China going to rise in the next 20 years, or does their military present a threat to the United States? So that's where I'm trying to go with that. Again, just narrow it down as much as you can. And in the real world, a collection asset is usually going to be tied to your analysis. So if you want to ask the question, is China going to rise against the United States? Well, you really can't task a human source or a surveillance drone to answer that question. However, you can ask detailed questions about their cyber botnet capability against the U.S. Homeland Security, and that's the U.S. Homeland, and that's something you can answer. Pardon me. So again, just keep your topics narrow. I think everyone pretty much got the induction-deduction part of the last week's discussion. If there's any questions, let me know, but I think that was pretty clear. For this week, the key is we're going to evaluate sources. Many of you probably in the military, if you worked in Intel, you probably have an understanding of what it means to evaluate sources. But those of you who haven't, and this is probably a little bit different because you're looking at newspapers and particular authors, what are you looking for? There's some questions in the lesson plan, but is it a single source? Is it just one guy saying it? And usually, if you read carefully, they'll say, according to one person, we believe that this is going to occur. Usually in the Intel world, single source information is not viable. You're looking for multiple sources. But if you can identify that, then that will give you points for the assignment. What are the biases in the writing? Everyone has a bias. Politically, there's a bias. There's a bias for action. There's a bias for gossip. If you're talking about newspapers, there's a bias to get ratings and get circulation. Is that the point that the paper is gonna make, or is that the point that the sources are gonna make? I mean, the guy who wrote about Snowden, the Guardian, that author, was he really trying to do his duty? He wasn't even an American; he was British, from the Guardian. Was he trying to do his duty? Or did the Guardian have an ulterior motive for making Snowden the article that it was? Answer those questions. So try and ask those questions. What things that appear on the surface don't always roll out as they're supposed to be in the real world. And then finally, look at the strength of the argument. Are they making a proper, cogent argument in their writings? And that's, again, particularly for academic work. Are they, you can even see, are they hesitant about trying to make an argument, or are they just trying to make an argument and let it go? So those are kind of the key things. That could lead to a good source, which would aid you in your papers. So that's pretty much all I want to cover. The last thing I want to say is I put a lot of work into these YouTube lectures. And I want to just get some feedback on it in this week's discussion. So please watch the YouTube lectures. And some of you already told you that you gave assignments that weren't in accordance to what the last YouTube lecture was, please watch them. I expect that part of your discussion, part of your participation. And please, in this week's discussion section, put if you think the YouTube lectures are worth it or not. And please let me know if that works for you. So with that being said, good luck with this week, and I'll see you guys on the discussion boards.